Hello, everyone. See if that makes it. There's a lot of light coming from that directions. So I'm going to move this way just a little. Welcome. Welcome. The live camera wasn't working earlier, which is why we're a little bit late, pardon me, getting started. So thank you for those of you who waited for the live to start. I'll turn that off so it doesn't make noise. So today we are talking about how to become more confident when you speaking more confidently. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that. I have 3 things I think you can do that is going to help you with that. But let me see. Hello, Sophia is here. Hi, Karima. It's so good to see you all. Mariam, awesome. Kim, it's good to, pardon me, it's good to see the regulars here. We're starting to get a regular group and also having people join us. So if you have joined me below, let me know in the comments. I've been here before. And if you're new, let me know. I'm new here today. Um, because I love to get to know my followers and my students a little bit more. Hi, Jana from Baghdad. Nice to meet you. I see some people saying good evening. It's midday here. It's about, pardon me, 1:30. I've got myself a cup of tea that I just made. If you've watched very many of my videos, you know I drink a lot of tea, but I've been drinking even more this week because I haven't been feeling well. I've been a little under the weather, but I'm feeling better now, but I'm not my normal self. I get tired more easily. So let's get into our topic today. I want to know what your questions are as I'm speaking, as I'm talking, questions about the topic, questions about phrases I use, questions about vocabulary, those kinds of things. So let me know in the comments and I'll try to keep track of those every now and then. So, speaking confidently is one of the main things we help students with here at English Coach 3Ts when we're working with them one on one or in our Women Speak Better group, which we have one of our members from Women Speak Better here. Uh, which is a program that's specifically created to help you have more confidence when you speak and to speak better English. And I've been giving a lot of thought to how could I pass some information on to our YouTube followers, our Instagram followers, because a lot of how we teach this isn't done like, here's what you do. In fact, I think if you have been in class with me live before, like in one of my Zoom classes or Skype classes, I've never given you directions on here's how you build confidence. Today, I'm going to try to break it down into 3 things that I think you can do. And at the same time, having said that, if you have a good teacher, they should be teaching you this without teaching you this. So, what do I mean by that? I mean, they should be doing things with you so that you are feeling more and more confident, as opposed to saying to you, okay, you need to go do this, or you need to go do that, or this is how it happens. So let me know if that makes sense in the comments or if that's a little confusing. I think you'll understand a little more as we go, but let me know what your questions are. So, the 3 things I think you need to do to be more confident when you're speaking English are think about what you do. What are the things you do? And I'm going to tell you what are some things you could do. What do you think about the things you do? And what do you think about what other people think about what you're doing? So let's talk about these. So, number 1, what do you do to practice English? I think we are almost programmed to believe, I know my generation was programmed to believe that what the teacher says is it. That's true. The teacher knows and you don't. So if you feel like you were taught this or told the teacher knows and you don't, Let me know in the comments. Yes, I was taught that because I think that's a really common setup for teaching teacher student. When the reality is the teacher may know some things that you don't know, but you know a lot more than you think you do, and you know some things the teacher doesn't know. For example, you know how you learn best. And even if you can't put it into words, there are situations in which you learn better and other situations in which you don't. So a good teacher will hopefully help you to become more aware of that and not act like they know. Uh, if you have a teacher who says this is the way to do it, this is the only way, I would be I would be skeptical. What do I mean by skeptical? I mean, I wouldn't believe them right off the bat. Right off the bat. What do I mean right off the bat is right away. I would question. If I'm skeptical, I'm questioning what you say. Um, and I would want some more information because in my experience, there isn't one way that all people learn. I think that there's probably a lot of science to back that up, but I can tell you from my experience, I could even just give you some examples, just some quick examples of how different people learn. One is some people are visual, they need to see things, they need to take notes um, when they're learning. Other people are auditory, they need to hear things. If it's all visual, it'll be hard for them. They need to hear things. Some people are kinesthetic. They need to do it. They need to experience it. All of us have all of these things, of course, but some of us are stronger in some areas than others. If you're the kind of person like me, when I'm learning something new, I like to take notes. I don't look back at my notes a lot. I look back at my notes some, but really the most important part for me is taking the notes. Um, and if you see how I do my calendar, I have different colors, and that is something that's helpful for me. Now, when I'm taking notes, I need to do it more quickly. So these are just some thoughts about how you might learn. So how you learn, why is that important to confidence? Because what you do is important to confidence. And probably, I would venture to say, meaning this is my theory, that the number one thing you can do to get more confidence speaking is to speak more. That might sound frustrating because it's oversimplified, but really it is true. The more you speak, the more confident you're going to feel. So let's talk a little bit more about that. I do have a whole video on how you can speak more. There's 5 different ways in the video that you can speak more. So if you want to go watch that video, I think it's called Action Plan for Speaking More. I'll link it. I'll link it below. Um, and I lost my train of thought. I was talking about speaking. Oh, okay. So, so what you do matters. I want you to think about something you do feel confident doing now. Maybe you're confident at cooking dinner or lunch or breakfast. Maybe you're confident about riding a bike. Maybe you are confident at work. What is something you currently do that you feel confident about? And try to think about what did you do to get this confidence? It's likely that you didn't feel confident the first time you did it. Now, hopefully, it felt fun or interesting the first time you did it. Um, confidence is something that we usually build. So build. That's something that comes with time. And of course, like anything else we build, we can build it quickly or we can build it slowly or anything in between. Um, and of course, if you build it too quickly, it's probably not going to be very strong. So When we speak, we gain confidence because we see that we can do it, but it depends on the second thing I said, which is what we think about what we do. So these are gonna kind of all mix together, 1, 2, and 3. They're gonna mix together because they don't stand alone. Let me take a drink of my tea here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I don't see any questions yet, so hopefully you're understanding. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense so far. So, what I mean by what we think about what we do, let's take the bicycle example. The first time you ride a bike, it's pretty likely that you're going to fall off or at least fall over. And you'll have to try again and try again. And someone might tell you, pedal faster, um, try to balance yourself, things like this. Maybe someone will even hold on to the back of the bike while you're riding the bike and run with you to help you. At first, you will make mistakes. Even after the first time you actually ride, you will still make mistakes. And over time, you'll get better and better. So when you're riding your bike, the first time you make a mistake, if you go, oh, I am no good at riding bikes. I just can't do this. It's going to make it a lot harder. And this is what I mean by what you think about what you're doing. So when you're learning anything, you will make mistakes. Now I'm going to prove that to you. If you could think of something you've learned to do that you did not make a single mistake. First of all, it will be hard to think of something that you learned to do and you never made a mistake. Second of all, if you have thought of something, let me know in the comments. I thought of something. I thought of something I learned to do and I never made a mistake. I'm going to tell you why that's almost impossible. And that's because um, if you if you did something without ever making a mistake, you know how to do it. You're not learning it. You know how to do it. The very idea of learning something implies that you will make mistakes. So let's see what we've got going on here in the comments. I have a question. How if how how to respond to their compliment? I can't respond to it. Okay, David, this is a question for another topic, but I would love to help you with that at another time. So stay tuned for a Q&A live would be a great place to bring that question. One person says never give up. Okay, two people are saying that. This is huge. You will gain confidence just by continuing. Let me repeat that because it sounds so simple, but it's so important. You will gain confidence just by continuing. Do you remember when there were those like posters and they were on t-shirts and everything that said keep on keeping on or keep calm and keep on keeping on, or it might have said study English and keep on keeping on. What it meant was continue. Keeping on is a phrasal verb that means continue. Um, and here's another good question, but I'm going to hold the question here for a second and finish this. So one of the key things is to never give up, to keep doing it, even if it's a little bit each day. If you do a little each day, you will build confidence. If you do a little more each day, you'll build confidence more quickly. And if you do kind of a balanced amount each day between 10 minutes and an hour each day. It doesn't have to be an hour every day. An hour every day, if you have the time, is great if you're enjoying it. Doesn't mean it has to be super fun and you enjoy it like it's the greatest thing ever. It means that if it's really difficult and you're so tired and you just don't like doing this, you're not going to learn much. It would be better to wait for a time when you are rested, when maybe you can get your questions answered. And in that way, you're going to enjoy your learning more and you're going to be building your confidence. Okay, so here's a good question. Can I speak more confidently reading books for children being an adult? Absolutely. I've been learning Spanish for well, very seriously for about 5 years, a little over 5 years, and I still read children's books. I'm now reading like 12, 13, 14-year-old children books, but, and I usually understand them completely. I read them because I enjoy them, and if I can read them, enjoy them, it is building my confidence. Now, I also read things at a little higher level where I don't understand it everything I'm reading to build vocabulary and grammar and those kind of things. I also read things below my level for fun because it's interesting and that will build confidence. And especially if you have a child to read with, then you're sharing with them. Relationship is an important part of of building confidence, which brings me to number 3, what you think about what other people think about what you're doing. If you're worried about other people thinking you don't sound right, you don't have the right accent, they can't understand you, you made a mistake. If you're worried about any of these things or anything else, that makes it harder for you to build confidence. So you need to let go of those worries, I know it's easier said than done, but you can practice letting go. First of all, it would help if we do this in other aspects of our lives, letting go of worrying about what other people think of us. What we think of ourselves is the most important thing, which brings me to another point about number 3, which is surrounding yourself with people who are kind, loving, helpful, supportive, which is another reason that I created the WSB program, the Women Speak Better program, because I only allow people in that program who are kind, loving, caring, supportive, understanding, and so that we can build a place, an environment where women can come and learn together, not just during the Zoom class, but all week during the WhatsApp group. So they can, at any time of any day, they can put a message in the WhatsApp group and get a friendly response. Maybe not right then, but they can get a friendly response, sometimes from another student and sometimes from me. Carlos asks, when we begin learning English, we don't learn phrasal verbs or other verbs with specific prepositions, I think. Why? Uh, so first I'll just say this is a little bit of a different topic, but it brings me back to what I'm saying here, which is we all learn differently. And if you learn with different teachers, you will learn differently. In my program, How to Become More Fluent Using Instagram, I'll put a link to it below. It is a video program you can do by yourself because I wanted to create a program teaching people what I teach my students in person. It's 7 videos you can listen to on your own, anytime, anywhere. You can use it with Instagram, obviously, that's in the title, but you could also use it here on YouTube or other places where you see videos of English and TikTok, any of those kinds of places. And in there, I teach you about find how to find a good teacher, tutor, or conversation exchange. It actually comes with a book that Tanya and I wrote about that. So you get the whole book on how to do that. But what I want to talk about now, pardon me, is in the video, it tells you specifically some questions to ask yourself about a teacher when you're looking for a teacher. And so, Carlos, come to a Q&A live where you can ask questions about any topic. But I will say that we all learn things differently at different times, and teachers teach for different reasons. And finding a teacher that works for you, finding a YouTube teacher that works for you, or an Instagram channel that works for you, any of these things, it's important. It's just like finding friends you enjoy spending time with. Um, and so how that ties back to reading books with the children is if you're enjoying it and communicating and spending time with each other, this is going to build your confidence automatically. That's why I know, and the way that I have trained Tiana and I work with my other teacher with when she has students, we work together this way. We encourage each other this way. We know that we're building environments where people will be building confidence just by being in the class where they are being supported and taught in a way that works best for them. So I know that's kind of a lot there, but it is something important to consider, even if it's not with a teacher. Maybe it's with another learner, like in a class that you take, or other learners, people in your family or friends who are learning English. It's important to spend time and practice with people you enjoy practicing with, and this will build confidence. Okay, let me see if I have any more questions here. There is so much on this topic. Thank you for all of the kind comments. Okay, one, and I see some people are doing the same thing. Yes, okay. No one wants to speak English with me because I have I don't, okay, so this is a problem, I think David is saying. How to handle it. I have a whole video on that, by the way. If you don't have anyone to speak with, I'll put the link to the video below, so when you come back and see the recording, you can see the link below. Um, and if you're listening to the recording, the link should be below. Um, and there are many ways that you can work on your speaking on your own. And there are ways to find people to speak with for either very little cost or free. So I think it's really important to spend some time finding those people that you can speak with and ways you can do that for free. How can I increase words every day? I'm going to say this in the most simple way, and you may not believe me, but it's absolutely true. Read more, listen more, speak more, and write more. If a vocabulary list works for you, keep doing that. And one of the most effective ways to learn more words every day is, really, if you could only do one, read more. And there are many ways to read. I'm not going to go into all those today. You could look up all the words, not look up all the words, read this, read that. Maybe I'll make another video on that soon, but just start reading. I'll say this much: read on a level where you can understand about 90 to 95% of what you're reading, something you enjoy. Maybe it's an article, maybe it's a short book, maybe it's a story, a short story, and keep doing that every day. I read every day in my second language. Of course, when I was sick, I didn't read as much as I usually do. I have an app on my phone so that if I have a little time standing in line, I can read. And the reason that this is on topic is that by reading, that's one of the things you can do to increase your confidence. You're increasing your vocabulary, even if you don't know that you're increasing your vocabulary. And by doing that, you're increasing your confidence to speak. How can I increase? I got that question. Thank you. Yes, Fabiana says listening a lot, you understand more, and you can speak more confidently. Yes, this is true. Uh, Listening a lot doesn't equal you can speak. You have to practice speaking, but it will definitely help you to speak more easily and more confidently. Shkar Kurdi, I hope I said this correctly. How to find native speakers to speak with for free. Do you know any app? I do. Hold on. I have a couple things to say about that. Conversationexchange.com. I've talked about it before. And I have a video called Will a Conversation Exchange Really Help Me, or something like that. I'll link that below. I should start making a list of what speaking video. What did I say I would link? This, you guys can tell me. The video about the conversation exchange and speak more. I'll link some helpful videos below. So that's how you can find a native speaker. It does take time and energy. Our book that comes with our How to Become More Fluent Using Instagram, I will link that below, tells you how to do this. But the other thing I have to say is you do not need to speak to native speakers to speak more confidently. In fact, I would say speaking to your fellow students may be more helpful. Or at least it's helpful in a different way. And speaking to someone who is very fluent in English, and it's not their native language, could definitely help you to speak better, and they can tell you how they did it. It does not need to be a native speaker. So let's talk a little bit more about what you think about what other people think. Because I think one of the reasons we want to speak with a native speaker is we think that that's the best, I guess, or something. You've probably heard that English is a global language. I realize I just have a few more minutes, but I think this is really important. English is a global language. You are all writing in English here, and I don't know. I'm guessing most of you are not native speakers. You are writing and communicating in English now. You could pat yourself on the back. In other words, feel really good about this, or you could focus on mistakes you're making or whatever. I think focusing on the fact that you're doing a good job and keeping your focus here is really important because you're communicating with me. Yes, I'm a native speaker, but the thing is that you can communicate with me so far, unless somebody tells me I didn't understand them, it looks like I've been understanding the things you're saying. And you are understanding a lot or most of what I'm saying. And if you don't understand it, you can listen to it again with the recording. So I would say let go of what other people think of your mistakes that you make, your accent, whatever it is, and start spending more time with people who think your accent is beautiful. They enjoy communicating with you, whether you make mistakes or not. Because in general in life, I would say this is pretty good advice for life in general, but really life is too short. I just put this thing on my story. Go check out my story on Instagram about this. I think it's so important. I'm going to see. You might repeat the sentences of English series to boost your confidence. Yes. Thank you, Carlos, for this good reminder. Just repeating things that I say. You could go back to the video of this, any of the other videos we have on YouTube. We have shorter videos, just a part of this video or one of your favorite videos here on our channel or someone else's channel or on a movie, wherever. And pardon me, pick maybe 30 seconds, 4 sentences, 5 minutes, whatever, and repeat that. I use an app that gives me a vocabulary word in context every day in my second language, which is Spanish. And I repeat that sentence. My sentence for today, if there's any Spanish speakers, is hay almendras saladas para picar. It means there are salted almonds to snack on. I already knew these words. The vocabulary word wasn't new for me, but the phrase para picar, to snack on, was new for me. And so I'm repeating it and saying other things. For instance, hay tortillas para picar. There's tortillas to snack on. Whatever we have to snack on. To snack on means to eat something that's not a meal, just when you are hungry. And I just repeat the one sentence each day, but you could have some days, maybe you do 5 sentences or 5 minutes. I have been doing more shadowing. I've been very inspired about shadowing, which I teach about in my How to Become Fluent Using Instagram course. But basically, what Carlos said, repeat what I say, that's shadowing. How can I profit at reading a story? I already talked about that, so you could listen to the recording, but I will just say from vocabulary, sentence structure, grammar, all kinds of things from reading a story. It's so great to see some of the people that I've been seeing in the comments, which reminds me to tell you how much I appreciate your comments here on YouTube. Sometimes it takes me a while to get back at them. So far, I've been able to get to all the comments, even though our channel is really growing, and I am so grateful. But I want to thank you for your comments and for you being here and watching and participating in lives with this. Without you, I can't come and share with everyone. So thank you so much for that. What is shadowing? I'm going to come to that. I am not shadowing what I'm not shadowing what you are saying. Okay, Jeff Green looks like he's okay. Okay, yes, Jeff's looking for an American English speaking partner. This is a great thing. I've seen this happening on other, especially our video about will a language partner help me to be more fluent? Yes, it will. I know that people are finding language partners in our classes and here on Instagram or here on YouTube and Instagram. So if you're looking for a partner, maybe you can find each other um, and practice speaking together, either by texting or speaking or voice message. There's so many ways. So shadowing, I'm going to talk about that. Okay. Okay, I'm reading comments. I love all these comments here. Okay, I'm going to talk about shadowing, and then I'm going to go because I'm way past my time here, but I enjoy spending time with you all so much. Shadowing is a great way to increase your confidence. It goes in what you do, in the category of what you do. Um, and what you can do is, well, all it means, a shadow is like if this is a tree and this is the sun hits the tree and the tree makes a shadow on the ground. So shadowing something, when we walk in the sun, we make a shadow. Our shadow is always right behind us. And so the idea of our shadow is always with us doing the same thing we do. If I do this, my shadow, if there was sun shining on me, my shadow would do the same thing. So that's the idea, is that if you shadow someone else, you do the same thing they do. So I'm going to actually do a video on shadowing soon, more information on shadowing. But to get started, you basically just, anything the person says, you say. So I just said, anything the person says, you say. You say. Anything the person says, you say. And try to say it like me. I didn't say, anything the person says, you say. No, I said, anything the person says, you say. Notice where I pause. Notice where I make my voice go up, go down, because in different languages, we have different ways of expressing ourselves. So, like I said, there's so much more I can say on that, but just get started. You do not need to do it perfectly. And this is going to be my closing feedback for you, my closing idea, my thing that I hope you take from this video. We call it a takeaway. We might say, what is your takeaway? I'm going to write it here. What? I can't type. What? Oh, see how I kind of put myself down there? I made a mistake. That's okay. I'll keep trying. Oh, look, I'm doing it. What is your takeaway? Pardon me. You could have more than one takeaway from any given thing, but I hope you learned at least one thing. That's your takeaway, or one thing that inspires you, or one thing that is helpful. That is your takeaway. And if you don't have any other takeaway from this video, I hope your takeaway is your English doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it's almost impossible. I live in the United States. I live where I talk with lots of native speakers every day, and I have not yet met anyone with perfect English. People make mistakes. It's a part of the deal, and I bet this is true for you on in your native language too. Kim's saying she doesn't see us on Instagram. We have the same name, but it is not an underscore. It's a hyphen. Okay, here we are on YouTube. Pardon me, on Instagram, it's like this. English coach underscore 3 T's, things like that on Instagram. All right. I hope I got to most of the questions. Think about what your takeaway is, and please come to the recorded version of this. Listen to any of the parts that you missed or that you want to hear again so that you get it. Comment to me, what was your takeaway from this video? What was something, at least one thing that was helpful or something that you learned? Remember to join us each Saturday at 1:30 p.m. for our live video here on Instagram. That's one here on YouTube. That's 1:30 p.m. Los Angeles, California time. And be sure to check out our Instagram. I put it in the comments there, and all the links that I'm going to share below. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the comments. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.